This has been an interesting year. It's been a real, I would say it's been a year of deconstruction in terms of kind of following along with what seems to be happening in the world, especially in the US and the American church, just being so aware on a much bigger level of all the brokenness and some of the cultural things church-wise that I just accepted and didn't question. And I think the last few years, with political upheaval and division and just the mess on either side of the divide, it's been very heartbreaking for me personally. It just coincides with the pandemic and our church second Sunday leaving our big church and trying to establish something that really kind of didn't end up looking the way that we had thought that it would. So I feel like for me, this year has been a real laying everything down and asking God to kind of help me to separate out what is real and of Him and what's broken that He's not in. And it's been hard. It's been, our children are all questioning, our children are all grown and living in other places. And so we've been stumbling through this together. But I would say that the Lord has been more real to me than ever. And I've known Him my whole life. So that's the one good thing about getting old, is that it's a long journey with Jesus, proving Himself to be faithful over and over and over. So I would say His faithfulness, His goodness, and maybe a new level of calm, like just knowing He's leading the way, He's got me by the hand, and He's going to pull us through, and we're going to be okay.
Personally for us, it's been an interesting year of restart. So I joined a startup company. Sally is in the middle of, was not in the middle at the beginning of the year, was just at the beginning of getting her license as a social worker, and couldn't see where the journey was going to end. With the second Sunday with our church, we absolutely knew that it was time for a hard reset, and we needed to figure out which direction to go. So it's been an interesting year looking back of new opportunities and taking new risks. So the way the church has played a role in all of that, I would say, is that it's been so important for us to have a community of people that we're a part of, who know us, who we know, that help carry our burdens, but also that we have an opportunity to carry their burdens. It's through community that we see healing and growth possibilities, and I was very, very encouraged about the way that our community has all come to a common understanding of what do we got to do in order to make a positive change. So.
And for me, I would say, so we're new to Luminous City and new to the merging of churches. What has really been heartening for me in this coming together has been number one, seeing the diversity. Like, it has always bothered me my whole life how the churches we've been a part of, God was earnestly worshipped and sought, but it was so homogenous. And I think we've recently said to each other, why is our church so white? So to come to a church where there's this cultural range, it's just beautiful. And that's something that every single week I just feel so grateful for. Like, God is doing a new thing and we get to participate. Before we merged or found Luminous City and Carlos, what was really, really a lifeboat for me in 2022 was just the way that Jason and Ing have been so faithful, and all the ups and the downs and the rug pulled out from under us time and time again as a church, and then relationally time and time again for them as a family. They've just been so steady. I've teased them that Jay reminds me of the Bobo doll, that goes down and bounces right back up.
He's going to love that one.
Yeah, you probably want to cut that out.
Yeah.
But anyway, just the way that they bounce back time and time again because the Lord is their anchor. And so I think this year we've been more clear than ever that not only are we called to worship God, we're called to a people. And we feel so grateful for this steady, rock solid group of people that we're doing life with now as a church. And then I just love the friendship that Jay and Carlos have. It's just been beautiful to me to see how they just complement each other so beautifully. And it's just really so encouraging.
So going forward, effectively what we have here is it's not just a church restart, it's a church startup. So we're all taking a risk to do a startup church, really kind of open wide the doors and invite people in. There is such strength in diversity, and everyone with different backgrounds, different histories, but somehow coming together to form a community with a common cause, with a common mission, and opportunity to just still, even though we're old, to learn new things, to learn new things from people.
Yeah, for me, I feel like this whole season has been such a one of laying things down that I'm really calm and expectant that God's doing something new, but I'm not putting a lot of firm expectations on how it's going to look. I think it's really exciting that there's so much humility coming from the top down in terms of Carlos and Gina and Jay and Ing, in terms of, I think everybody's been through so much that a lot of rough edges have been worn off, and there's a humility and a certainty that God is who he says he is, that he's faithful, that he's good, that he is love. And so I think something really good is going to come from this.
Yeah.
So just really peacefully, expectantly looking forward to something new.
Yeah, we see growth in the people that we know, and I just know that springtime is coming.
Yeah.
And there's going to be new growth, new things are happening, and it's going to be a great new year, a great summer to look forward to.
Yeah. Yeah, one other thing, I was thinking about this recently, is how the people who have remained have been through a lot and they've still stayed faithful. So I think to start with a core of tried and trusted, faithful core people, I think, wow, we're starting on a whole new footing. And it's exciting because we've all seen that the Lord is good, and that despite hardship, staying focused on him, grateful and thankful and worshipful, he does great.
There is
mighty
a
things.
hope and a future, a hope and a future.
Yeah.